Hey everyone, today we're going to deconstruct a really powerful personal journey, one that goes from a moment of crisis all the way to empowerment. We're using a poetic story as our guide to see how this kind of transformation happens step by step. So let's jump right into the heart of the storm.
So, the story kicks off right here. There's no gentle lead-in, nope, we're just dropped straight into a crisis. You can almost feel the weight in those words, right? The panic, that feeling of being frayed, completely worn down. This isn't just a bad day. This is a moment of total, overwhelming intensity.
And all of that intensity, well, it brings our narrator to a super critical point, a stage we can call on the edge of giving up. And, it's a place that I think a lot of us might recognize.
Now, what I find really interesting here is how fear is described. It's not just a feeling, It's presented as this active, almost physical force, a shadow gripping my soul. It's this idea that fear can feel like something outside of you that's taking over, pushing you right to that teetering point of losing it all.
And that feeling of teetering, wow, it's so personal, but at the same time, it's incredibly universal. It's that delicate, shaky balance between holding it together and just letting go. It's a feeling that really resonates way beyond this one story. It's kind of a core part of being human when you're under immense pressure.
But right at that moment of near surrender, something shifts. And this brings us to the biggest turning point in the whole journey, the first glimmer of a tiny but powerful spark of possibility.
This right here, this is the pivot. The situation on the outside hasn't changed at all. The storm is still raging, but something internal has. It's just a tiny voice, a spark inside that pushes back against that overwhelming feeling of despair. It's this simple, defiant whisper of, I still could, and honestly, it changes everything.
Okay, so this slide just breaks down that internal conflict perfectly. On one side, you've got this massive downward pull, the fear, the loss of control, that feeling of being on the edge. But then, on the other side, you've got this new little upward force, that spark, that I still could, that turn in the tide. The biggest battle isn't just against the storm outside, it's this tug of war happening within.
And that little inner spark, it's about to become something much, much bigger. This section is all about the central metamorphosis of the story. This isn't about surviving fear anymore. It's about actually transforming it into something else entirely.
This is it. This is the absolute core of the journey. It's like alchemy, really. The very same energy that was causing all that panic and paralysis, the fear, it gets rechanneled. It becomes fire. It becomes fuel. Instead of a cold shadow, now it's a heat that lights you up and empowers you, not in spite of the pain, but right through it. So you might be wondering, okay, but how does this actually happen? Well, the narrative kind of lays out a clear three-step process. First, it starts with just acknowledging that shift inside, that initial spark. Then you actively channel that fear so it becomes fuel. And finally, all that new energy empowers you to find your voice and speak your truth, even if it's just a whisper at first. But what's making this whole process possible? I mean, where did that first spark even come from? The story introduces this really amazing concept it calls the whispering source.
So the source is basically this deep internal wellspring. You can think of it as your intuition, your gut feeling, your core self. It's that quiet but constant part of you that stays steady, even when everything on the surface is chaotic. It's the part of you that holds on to your resilience and your wisdom.
And what's the message from this source? It's so profoundly simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You're not alone. In a moment of deep isolation and terror, this inner whisper gives you the one thing you need most, a sense of connection, of reassurance. It's literally the anchor in the storm.
Learning to tap into this source leads to the final stage of the journey, a whole new state of being. And it's not about the storm finally ending, it's about finding a new way to exist within it. The destination isn't a place, it's a feeling.
This slide just captures that new mindset so well. Notice how the language has totally shifted. Fear is still there, scared but I'm stronger, but is not in the driver's seat anymore. Instead, there's this newfound trust, this clear ownership of your own dreams, and a readiness for whatever's coming next. Every step forward feels intentional now, like a prayer.
And this brings us to this really profound conclusion. Home isn't some physical place you arrive at after the storm passes. Home is the state of being connected to that inner source. It means finding peace and stability and a sense of belonging right inside yourself, no matter what's happening on the outside.
It's this powerful declaration that you carry your own sanctuary with you.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, the story leaves us with a question to carry with us. We all face storms, big and small, and this journey we've just looked at suggests that deep inside all of us, there's a source of strength just waiting to be heard. So the final thought is this. When you're on the edge, teetering in your own storm, what's the quiet whisper you can listen for inside yourself?